Hey everyone, we're back and we're at the property again. We are working on finding gravel to fill in the hole in the driveway. And I mentioned earlier, in the last time we were talking, I said that there was a lot of builder logs over here. And there are. It's looking pretty good. I've got a bunch of stuff cut down already, as you can see behind me. There's a pile of builder logs. Anything with an orange dot on it is a log we're saving for the cabin. This area behind the swing set here has all been already mined of all the gravel to build this section of the road. Now what I'm going to do is starting right here where this pile is of stuff. Imagine I'm making an imaginary line going straight back. I've got my trees cut back pretty well on this side, and then I have this little clump of trees here in the middle, these birches over here, and then these spruces over here to cut down to finish off my whole area here, and kind of make it match the same shape as the one that I made over here. So I'm just kind of cutting it straight across and same thing, and I'm going to end up cutting all this moss and stumps out of here, putting it in a pile, and I take all the dirt off of an area, put it in a pile, and I take all the gravel out of the ground, put it off to the side onto the dirt in a big pile. And once I get to where it's hard to dig and it's making it difficult for the excavator, I'm going to stop, and then I will double back, take all my stumps and junk, throw it in the bottom of the hole, take all my dirt that I piled up, throw it on top, smooth it all out, compact it, throw more dirt, smooth it out, compact it with the bucket and with the tracks, and once it's filled back up, it'll basically look just like it does over there. This whole area behind here is all like that. So this is what it's going to look like. This gravel stops. The hole where I mined all the gravel starts. And I've filled it all back in and schmoozed it out. Yeah, it's a little muddy and stuff, but it's enough for us to park our trailers on it and stuff. But we don't have any plans on ever building a building here or ever putting a road of any kind here or anything, or driveway or anything like that. So making, the ground unstable by removing the gravel and then putting back stumps and dirt on top to cover it isn't really that big of a deal when you're dealing with 32 acres of property. And you're not doing this anywhere near the foundation of your house. So our house is going to be way up there by where the sheds and the cabin are. Is going to be taking the excavator and cleaning things up. What I do is see all the trees that are laying over there here. Got to get all those, and we're going to throw them back there in a pile. And over here, where earlier we had laid all these trees down, you see them all? See all those trees? See how they're laying all the exact same direction? That was on purpose. So now all I have to do is walk in here sideways, and I can pick every tree up as I go wherever I want, because they're all laying the right way. But first, we're going to go this way. Stop right here. I'm going to start grabbing the tops. I'm going to turn the thumb on. Over here, that's where they're all going to go. starting to get stuff separated now. We got a hole. That's where our gravel's going to come from. There's a little dirt that's left in, but I'll pull that out. Here's dirt pile. Over there, stump pile. So we're getting things separated around here. So we still have more grubbing and more stumps to remove back in this kind of corner area here. Some more trees to take off and stack over in our pile. But we got our dirt pile going here. We got our gravel pile going here. We're going to remove gravel from here, put it in this pile here. When we're done with this hole, we're going to put some stumps in it. We're going to put some dirt on it. We're going to move back further. We're going to take more gravel out. Same repeat. Rinse, repeat. We have done some work. We've been clearing. So yesterday, you guys got to see me finish cutting all the trees down that were right over here. And so I've been going wild with the excavator since then. I shoved all the grubbing and dirt. Here is a nice pile of it ready to be buried. And this is the edge of where I dug before versus where the new gravel is going to get mined out of over here. We already have one pile of gravel going. This is a pile of just dirt. For the most part, there's some roots and sticks in there, but it's mostly just dirt. And then this is the big, that's all just stumps and stuff. So as I create holes to, right here, I'm going to dig a hole right in front of where the excavator is, right into the bucket there. I'm going to throw the gravel over here. I'm going to throw the dirt off the top over here. Then I'm going to throw the gravel over there till I get down to the point where it's pretty hard and it's getting hard to dig out. Then I'm going to go around over here, set up there, grab some stumps, walk them over, throw them in the hole, grab a couple more, throw them in the hole, set right here, throw the dirt in the hole, bang, 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 bang. Take the blade, smooth it out, turn around, start digging another hole over here. Take the dirt, throw it in my pile, take the gravel, make a new gravel pile, and then move on. And at some point here, after I get a couple of decent piles of gravel, about that big or so, stacked up, I'll transition over to the tractor and I'll start packing it up the hill with the tractor. Because the excavator is an amazing digging tool, but it does not pack stuff around very well. So you just got to use your tools for what they're for and use them the right way and do the best you can. When you're all by yourself, you just do everything as fast as you can alone. You should not expect to get a lot done quickly. So all you can do is hope that you have a good plan. We are going to show you what all this fuss and muss and gus is about here. We're freaking out about gravel. We need gravel for our driveway. Well, how do you get gravel? Well, we mine the gravel out of the ground. Well, what does that mean? What does mine the gravel out of the ground mean? Oh, well, maybe if you don't know what that means we're going to dig it out of the ground right here. So this is dirt. That right there is gravel. So watch me take a couple of passes across, clear this dirt out of the way, and then we're going to start pulling straight gravel out of here. Here we go. I want to get just the dirt off the top because I don't want to lose a bunch of my gravel that's good. I want to keep that, put it on my road, my driveway. Okay, here we go. We're getting in the gravel right here. That's a bucket full of gravel. There's a hole right into the bucket there. Down yonder. There's a hole. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, anybody getting dizzy? No? Good. We're gonna grab some stuff. Oh, we're gonna turn our thumb on because we had our thingy up. Our lever lock. Oh. This is kind of a crude science here. These things are awkward to deal with. Try grabbing this guy here. And this big clump of stuff here. And get on in now. parts that run an excavator. Grubbing and clearing land, grabbing chunks. Clunk, shunk, ka-shunk. Hey, get that dirt out of there. Oh, I got a stringer. Some roots hanging on here. Well, that's okay. We'll let those stringers hang on. Oh, lost it. Going in the hole there, Stump, whether you like it or not. I was just gonna kind of give you guys the idea of what it's like. Whoa! I'll pull this thing over. Doesn't really like digging sideways. Sitting sideways right now. Just takes a little finesse. Gotta be a little careful. Favorite part about this tool, it's got two tools. It's not just a digger, you can also spread gravel or dirt with the blade. Okay, so here we are again. Here's the area I've been pushing the dirt over in here. Remember before we had a bunch of trees laying down over here and I picked them all up and set them back there, and there's the pile of them back there. Here's the swing set in the middle of everything. There's our big pile of gravel that we were able to get pulled up out of our 3 holes so far that we've made. So last you saw me, I had mined a bunch of gravel, made a big open area, put a bunch of gravel here. And I started packing it with the tractor up the driveway. And here we go. That's the second section of fabric and the third section of fabric. So right here is the hole where it used to be a big hole. And it's starting to get better. Things have changed a little bit on the driveway project. We've moved forward a step. I didn't really show any of me packing the gravel with the tractor because it's pretty darn monotonous and boring, and I didn't think it was really necessary. I did show it a couple of scenes of it earlier when we first started packing gravel up the driveway. So same thing over and over. Here's what the area. There is no more pile of gravel. It's gone. You can see where the kayaks were, or are, bucket and the swing set. And we had a nice big pile of gravel right here. Kind of went all through this area. And it's all up there in the hole. Now what I have to do is, because I can't go this way, I don't want to drive on my fabric. Now I'm going to take the tractor up the road, all the way up there. We have a little trail that cuts in. Trail that cuts in by the front of that trailer up there. Comes in from the side of the road, and I can get over to the upper part of the property from there, which is where the excavator is. And the only reason why it's up there is because I had to fuel it up last night. It was almost out of fuel. So I'm gonna drop off the tractor, get the excavator, go back out to the road, come all the way down the road, and come around here and in here, this area in here, and then we're gonna start doing gravel. We're gonna start cutting. We're gonna cut holes just like we did before. We're gonna mine a bunch of gravel out, make another big pile, and same song, second verse, basically. Yep, that'd be a hole down in there. Let's over. Here's the hole, and here's a tiny little pile of dirt. There's the pile of gravel that I have going. So, I mean, it's a pretty big pile of gravel. Gravel's coming out. Holes over there. Gonna start putting stumps back in. Stumps are over here. So I'm just in this little spot. I got everything I need. I got my gravel, I got my dirt, I got my hole, I got my stumps, and then there's me. Woo! It's another beautiful day, but it's a little different than it was last time. We went over the weekend and we didn't come out here and do anything, and now I'm here. It's Tuesday, October, I think it's like the 11th maybe. And there's our pile of gravel from Friday. It's sitting underneath a bunch of little speckles of snow. All the logs covered in snow. Yep, we got our first little dusting of snow. So here I am, starting another hole. I'm going to throw some more gravel on the pile. And I hope to get, I don't know, an hour or so of throwing gravel, and then I'm going to jump on the tractor and put all my warm clothes on and start packing gravel up the drive. I'm all bundled up. Yep, I got my warm gear on, a sweatshirt, and another shirt. I mean, my winter hat, insulated gloves. I got my Carhartt bibs on. I'm all decked out to be warm because I'm just gonna sit here and pack gravel. Got quite a pile of gravel going. I've already been packing some. See, I parked the excavator for the day. Done with that. And yeah, we're kind of, this is us. I mean, big pile of gravel up and down the driveway on the tractor. And that's what we're doing. Well, we're back again. Got a little bit of a problem. The tire has come off the bead, except what's a bummer, before it popped off the bead, because it came off like, I don't know, up there where the pile of dirt is sitting in the middle of the trail there. It came out and it went and it came off. And so I also saw when I was coming down, because I had no choice but to back down here, somewhere there looked like one of these lugs had a huge cut in it, which is just fantastic, because that means that it's not actually from it coming off the bead that caused it to go flat. It probably has a rip in it. And you'd say, well, what the heck are you talking about? How does that happen? Well, that's how that happens. There's lots of rocks in this gravel that I'm working with, and there could be some sharp ones in there. I don't know. I don't really know yet. But when you work on a farm or a homestead or whatever you want to call it, you get into some places where you have a little bit of issues sometimes. I love my tractor. It's a great tractor. Works hard. Does a great job. Just goes and goes. Truth be told, whole landing back here, I have had issues with. Actually, I'm not even sure if this was the tire. I think it was the other tire on that side on the front. I had issues with it going flat on me, and I had to put some bead sealer on it, and then it went back on, and then it's stayed aired up ever since then. But this one over here, I hope it's not cut, because I don't know how much one of those tires costs, and also I don't know how hard it is to get one of those little tires. So that might not be something you can just run down to the store and pick up, if you know what I mean. So I don't know, man. I realized a few minutes ago when I was packing gravel that I never said how cold it was. I said it was cold, and I said, oh, I'm packing gravel in the cold. I got all my gear on. I did not say how cold. It is about, well, it's probably almost 40 by now, but it was earlier when I was filming, it was probably about 34, which is what it said on my pickup when I got here. So, yeah, it's just kind of a snowy existence, but it's not frozen, you know. I mean, you can see that's just mud, just like it's been, you know. There's some mud on top of this gravel that's here, and there's honestly, even the gravel that I'm getting is it's turning into mud pretty good up there. So hopefully it dries up and we get some better, you know, drier weather. But really, in the meantime, I have to figure out what am I gonna do about that right there? That's not good. I could push. I have the bucket pushing down, holding up the. It's holding the wheel up off the ground. Okay, we're back again. Jacket buttoned up here. Whoa! It's chilly. See that? Yeah, it's 29 degrees. And we got this tire to deal with. We got a messed up tire, and we gotta fix it. So that's what we're gonna do. Come on over here. The old tractor fired up. Old, not old, 1 year old. I don't know why I talk like that. I say everything's old. She's all started up, she's running, no problem. This thing always starts good. And there's the dilemma right there. That's a problem. That's not supposed to look like that. That one looks right. So that's what it's supposed to look like. That one looks good too. Okay, so here's the deal. What are we going to find out today is that tire ruined and cut open and it's not going to hold air at all no matter what I do? Or is it just come off the bead and I can get it back on there and I can seal it up and blow it back up with air and woo, back in business? I don't know. That's what today's going to be about though. Well, first thing we got to do is get the tire lifted up off the ground. I got my jack stands right there ready to go, but use the hydraulics of the tractor, lift it up, nice and high off the ground. All right, now let's see if we can get those lug nuts off. Okay, we got a little overview of what we got going on. I got my little trusty mat to kneel on. I've got, this is a 22 millimeter socket and a 1/2 inch ratchet. Gosh, I guess I don't know how long, maybe a 14-inch long, somewhere in there. It's not really big. And I'm hoping I can get these off of here. Here we go. Oh, she's spinning. Well, that's good. I didn't think it was going to do that because it was in 4-wheel drive, but I guess it will still spin. Let me start it up and put it back down. Actually, I don't even have to start it up. What am I talking about? Slowly let the pressure off. Now bring it back down. Now it won't move. Okay, let's try this. Okay, that one came. Okay, there's a couple that are just nuts. Oh, I forgot to show you my other little secret weapon. Magnetic tray. That keeps all my stuff from going everywhere. They've got studs on 2 spots where they have a nut and a washer. And I know these are all torqued to 100, I think it was 120 foot-pounds. After I put about 50 hours on it, I went over it with the torque wrench and torqued all the lug nuts. So, I know they're not over tightened. They shouldn't be anyway. They seem to be coming free. Okay. Now, let's lift it up now. Oh, disclaimer, you should never do that. You shouldn't do that ever. You're supposed to sit in the seat, operator's seat of the tractor to operate the controls. I don't always follow the rules. Sorry to tell you, that's just the way it is. Am I not necessarily always a good example? That could be said, but we're always about getting the job done around here. Oh, this is my handy dandy little 3/8 impact. Nice thing to have. Okay, and I just take the whole magnetic tray full of stuff, throw it right here into my baggie, and off I go. Okay, there we go. There's the wheel and the tire. Put that over there. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, guys, look at this. That is frozen mud. I mean, like, ultra frozen. So what I gotta do now is, because I gotta leave it like this, I gotta take the tire and the wheel back in my house and try to fix it. I gotta try to get all this frozen mud off of it, and then I gotta, you know, spray it down, wash it off, get it super clean, and determine if I can find a rip or a cut in it anywhere, and see if we're moving forward with this tire or we have to get another one. So right now, my priority is we got to get this tractor supported underneath this side because there's not going to be any wheel on it. Okay, that's it. All right, we're good. Lift with your back, not with your legs. Scream in pain, and everything will be fine. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, baby. Hey, baby. Let's lay this thing down in here. All right, we are at home in the garage, and now we're gonna try to take the tire off the rim. Damage to the rim, a couple of little flecks from where I pried on it with my tire wrenches, but that's not a big deal. Let's get something cleaned up. Now, the part that's actually important, inside. Earlier I was mentioning that I had issues with one of the front tires, and I had already put a bunch of bead sealants on it earlier this summer, and then it had stayed inflated the whole time. And I was kind of not sure if this was the one that I had done that to or not, but I can tell you for sure, for a fact, this is not the one that I had already bead sealed. This one actually, you know, there's no black goopy stuff anywhere on here. There. So that means that, yeah, it wasn't that tire, it was the other one. And hoping, fingers crossed, that it just had the same issue as the other one, that it just took longer for the bead to pop off, because that bead actually gave me issues within, I don't know, the first couple months I owned the tractor, but it was pretty bad. Actually took the tire and everything down to the lake, and I just rolled it into the lake and let it sit there for like 10 minutes and soak, and that broke all that frozen mud and everything off of the tire, and so I was able to load it in the truck and bring it home pretty much the way it looks right now. Okay, rim, no damage, clean, check. That goes over here. Now, to the important part. So I got water in here. I hate trying to get water out of a tire. It's like the worst thing ever. Try to get my bead portion of the tire cleaned up a little bit. So at this point, I'm just kind of trying to clean it up enough so I can see, are there any major obvious, like, hey, there's a big rip? Like, look at that, that's a rip, but that's a rip in just the tread, right? Okay, so that's not a problem. We're not worried about that. We want to see, is there rips inside? So, I guess I could try and look in there with a flashlight. Yeah, I don't see anything that looks like a puncture of any kind. The inside of that looks pretty good. So, now the fun part, we're gonna get all this water and sand and stuff out of the tire. Back to the task at hand. I cleaned it out. Yeah, it took a little bit. This is going to be one of those times where they put on a few moments later. And then it looks like this. It's all nice and clean inside. There's a bunch of sand and gravel inside it. I'm going to get out of there. So, we got this area, bead area. Excuse me. We got all this bead area cleaned up. Real nice. Looks good. I couldn't find any rips anywhere in the sidewall. Same thing with this side. This has all been cleaned. There's no gravel or dirt or anything. Same thing on this side. I couldn't find any rips in the sidewall. And over the whole tire, there's one lug that's got a rip in it. I don't know if you can even see that. But you can see it. Pull it apart, but it only goes down, a little ways and stops. And that's not, I've checked the inside real close and there's not anything damaged on the inside. So I'm going to try to put the tire back on and I'm going to use the bead sealer to try to seal it up and pop it back on. Hopefully we're back in business and we don't have to buy a tire. One thing you want to remember, which I just now remembered, is these tires are directional, so you want to make sure which way the direction goes. There's usually an arrow. Oh, here we go. A little arrow on there tells you it's going to rotate that direction. So I want it to be this. And my arrow's going that direction, and that way I know I need to put the side of the rim that has the valve stem on it on this side, because this is the side of the tractor it goes on, and the forward direction is this way. I have my arrow pointing forward, everything will be fine. If I put the rim, and the tire's laying on here just like this, but if I put the rim in this way, with this side sticking up on the side, it's going to be on backwards. So valve stem on. Excuse me, might give this a little bit more of a wipe. Gives it some not really coming much cleaner. Okay, done. We got this. We're going to get some soapy water. I never knew this, but I just learned it recently. You can use body wash for your tire lube to put your tires back on. A lot of times you spend a bunch of money in this little tub of tire lube, and it's not cheap. It's specialized for putting on tires and stuff. It makes the tire super slippery and easier, to maneuver around the rim. And I learned from watching Vice Grip Garage that you can put on just regular old body wash, and it'll do pretty much the same trick. So I'm gonna slather this bad boy up with some coconut body wash right now. It smells really nice. It smells way nicer than a tire, I can tell you that. And my tire gets a little bath at the same time. Okay, we got our arrow pointing this way, we got our valve stem right here. We're gonna stick it down. Now how you put this thing in there, you gotta get it down in. Get it in there. Get it. Oh, sorry. Well, you know, see this part of the rim right here? This is called the drop center. This back here. Yeah, you can see it better. Okay, drop center. If you get the bead inside there, up in there, and then you can work it around, and that's how you work it back in. So we got her in. We're in the drop center as far as we can get. We got our tools covered in dirt. So we're all soapy now, so we want to be clean. Let's get the dirt off. Try to be clean around here. Somebody should anyway. Okay. So we're going to take an iron, we're going to stick it in. And we're going to have a tough time here. Okay. Worked it a little bit on that. Oh. Get off a little too much. See, I'm kind of. You can't really see what I'm doing. I keep saying see, but you can't see. The tough part about doing this is you can't really get what you need because maybe that shorter one. Now you see I'm trying to pry this way, but I'm going to hitting the rim before I can get this bead underneath. Ooh, I slipped, oh yeah, slipped it on there a little more. Okay, I think the shorter wrench is the trick here. These are actually dirt bike wrenches. Yeah. Oh, that's close. Alright, that's going. That's going. A bit at a time. We're staying in our little zone. Okay, we're almost there. That is some slick body. Whoa, the body wash worked. We're in. Except now so is our wrench. Uh-oh. I can see it. I'll get it. Mechanics' #1 secret weapon. Flexible magnet. Ta-da! Okay. One side on. Now we gotta get this side on. So let's get our super duper coconut body wash. I'm doing a little extra. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm white walling this thing. Soup it up. A little extra on the rim even. Okay. I went on extra off my gloves though. Get that off there. Okay. Now to install the tire completely. This is how we do it. Same deal. You got to get the part of the bead down in the drop center of the rim. So get one wrench in there. Try to sneak another wrench there. Hold that one. I hold that one with my elbow. And then usually you can just kind of work it at the thin end. And I keep moving this one over to support it. And I just work my way all around the tire. This body wash is working quite well, I must say. Okay. Gotta keep our elbow on there. Oh, it's trying to hate us. Oh, where did that go? Did that go inside the tire? Oh, wouldn't that just be my luck? No, I won't do that. You stay there. Nope, it's not the tire. We're good. We're good. It went right in the hub opening. There it is. Sneaky little guy. Okay, back to business here. Well, you could probably do this without the tire lube, but boy, I think you'd sure struggle a lot more. Okay, starting to get tough when that last little bit, I don't know if you guys can see, there we go. You can see I got just this last, from here to here is all I got left. Make sure all this is down in there. Oh, almost there. Almost there. Bingo! Well, isn't that sweet? Right there. Now, let's not get celebration action going yet. We gotta make sure the air goes in there and it stays in there. I don't care if I can take the tire off and put it back on. That's not really the biggest part of the thing. The biggest part is it's got to hold air. It is getting a nice body wash though. Like a body wash washing, if you will. Try to get as much of this soapy crud out of there as I can, because I want our bead sealer to do its job as best as it can. Okay, I'm gonna pop that out. Okay, now let's do the same thing with this side. Try to get the soap off. And what the tire is in, installed as it should be. Facing the right direction, rotation that way. It goes on this side of the tractor. That's perfect. So far everything's coming out as well as I can hope. As far as I can tell, I just came off the bead. So could have been maybe it lost a little air pressure and I hadn't checked it recently enough. I did just check them a little while ago, but it wasn't yesterday. It was colder out yesterday, so maybe the air shrinks and then there's less air in there when it shrinks, and then the tire is a little softer. And I'm hauling gravel, rocks and sand and gravel, which was pretty heavy stuff. So it definitely put the stress on the front tires. The bucket of the tractor's holding all that weight, and all that weight's down on them front tires the whole time. In fact, I had a few buckets where my back tires were bouncing up off the ground a little bit. So I mean, there's no question that the bucket is loaded, and that these tires are taking a large amount of the weight when the whole tractor is teetering on those front tires. So lesson B in here, if it is just the bead popping off, that yeah, you got to check the air pressure, especially when the tire or the temperature drops. You know, 28 degrees when I got there yesterday, and probably should have added some air to these tires. Well, hindsight's always 20/20. Maybe next time. Have my game together a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to put bead sealant all the way around this. I'm going to flip it over to this side here. I put it all the way on this side over here. Guess I can kind of do it like so. Maybe you guys can see what I'm doing. See, that's the bead right there, right? So I'm putting the sealant all in there. So this might be a fun task. Let's see how it goes. This is bead sealer. That looks good, doesn't it? Can you imagine with the smell? Yeah, that's what hits you. Kind of smells like rubber cement mixed with paint varnish. Yeah. No, it's, yeah. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I'm kidding. Come on. Come on, you guys. You know me better than that. No, I'm just kidding. Never been much into that. Just use it for putting my beads together. Okay, so got to do this without making a ridiculous mess. I already got a bunch of black stuff on my hand. So I can tell you right off the bat here, I'm not going to ruin another pair of leather gloves. I have a secret weapon. I always use rubber gloves. I use them when I grease the tractor and the excavator. I use them when I do oil changes. I use them when I deal with fuel. I just like to use them. Keeps my hands clean. Stops the petroleum chemical stuff from getting on my hands. Ew. Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't really care that the stuff gets on my hands that much. This just makes the cleanup a lot faster. I don't know if you've ever gotten oil and dirt, especially dirty old oil, in the cracks and stuff in your fingers. I mean, you can wash your hands a bunch of times and it's just not coming out. So if you want to have hands that, you know, your family will allow you to hug them and, you know, kiss them and touch you with, your kids will let you, you know, run your hand through their hair because it doesn't look like it's a black death hand. You just wear the gloves, and then at the end of the day, whoop, whoop, and now your hands are clean. A lot of people probably gonna think that it's like wimpy or whatever, but I like it. Especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. This stuff here is nasty. And once you get it on something, you're not gonna get it off. Black gooped it up. Now, let's roll it over to the other side. Already kind of, sort of slid on there. Okay, same song, second verse. It's gooped. And I didn't manage, doesn't even look like I barely got any on myself. That's pretty ideal. We got our bead sealant on, and we got no way to hold the tire in place and put air in at the same time. So, do the old ratchet strap trick. Pretty basic stuff. You take a ratchet strap, you wrap it around the tire. Try to get it in the middle if you can. And as I crank on this, you can see the tire is starting to bulge up. See how it's bulging up towards the bead? Okay, there's one. Pretty much the opposite. Put the buckle, you know, this ratchet is on this side, put the other ratchet on the other side. Together. Crank. That bead looks happier. That crank. Too. Okay, you don't want to crank it down too much, but you want to get it so it's looking like, you know, where it is. It's a little closer, you know, so it's not like how this is way down over here. That's my only fight now, is getting that little spot to pop on. Let's see what happens here. I got my air compressor primed up, but I got it turned off, so I might have to turn it back on. Not working. Turn the compressor back on. Like it's going on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, folks. I hear a leak. These straps up here. Oh. Well, this I can make it real easy to see. Finger on it here. Get this off. Those are a little on there, a little tight. Okay, that's what I'm afraid of. That's. Punctured all the way through. It looks like. Let's see if we can show you. See that rip? It's a rip right there, and it's got air coming out of it. But that's not what I was hoping for. Let's see. I can show you more prevalently and make it more obvious where it's leaking. There you go. Now we can see it real good. Yeah. Yeah, that's us. We got a leak. But now I got one last little thing up my sleeve, and I have no idea if it's going to work. I don't even think it's really for industrial tires. It's more for like car and truck tires, but I have a plug kit. Maybe I could get a couple plugs and stuff them in there double, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to go get my plug kit. All right, let's get back at this. Try to see if we can get this plug in. Got my little plug kit. Some pretty simple stuff. You got a reamer tool, an installer tool that you put the plug in, and then your standard vulcanized like tire plugs. So take your plug, you stuff it through the little eyelet. Yeah, there it is. Get it about in the middle, sorta ish, something like that. Okay, set that off to the side. You get the reamer, you get in your hole. Bring it out. I tell you, I might want to try to put 2 plugs in this. I'm also gonna put some bead sealant on the hole before I stuff the plugs through it, just as an extra. They give you this little Mickey Mouse looking cement stuff, but I think the bead sealer is better. They give you a little tiny little tube of little rubber cement looking stuff with the tire kit, but looks like it belongs on a bicycle if you ask me. It'll come up, double plug. Okay, I don't know if this is advisable or not, but I could tell just by sticking the reamer in there that hole is pretty big, so I don't want to buy a new tire. If I can fix it, that'd be really good. Oh yeah, here you go. This is what the tire kit came with. I don't know. I'd rather go with something that looks like this. Get that on there. A little bit of goopy. Trying to get myself up under this flap. Ooh, stuffed them in there. All right. That's pretty ugly, but might work. Might just be ugly enough to work, folks. I'll show you up close. That didn't come out too bad. Huh? I don't know, that might actually work. Let's put some air in it. So it's at 46 right now. I'll let it chill like that for a little while, and I'll check it again, see if it's leaking. I don't hear any leaks. I think we might have fixed it. Now the tire all fixed up, I hope. It held pressure all night long in the garage. Now it's cold outside. Again, it's 26 degrees when I got here. Yep. Yeah, everything's frozen still. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting day. Let's get the tire back on. one battle at a time. Tighten it up all evenly in a star pattern kind of thingy. You know, stars are best. I don't know if you guys knew that. So it's on there. Now, you can see about tightening it up a little bit more and call it good. Give each one of them the old quarter turn. Greatness. Yeah. Oh, that one needs more than a quarter turn. There we go. All right, she's on there. Okay. Now all we gotta do is break the rules again and lift up the front of the tractor with the hydraulics and yank our jack stands out of there, and we should be golden. So she's on her own weight. The tire's holding. Let's check tire pressure on this tire right here to tell. Hopefully we're around 40-ish. Okay, it's not bad. 36. 36. Okay. Gonna add a little bit of air to that. I think I want about around 45 because I want to make sure they got plenty of air. The book has a range of 45 to 55. I don't think 55 is necessary. So at home it was 44-ish, and now it's reading 40, which makes sense. I mean, it was warm inside the garage, 65 degrees or so, and now it's 26 degrees. So 40s. Okay, I'm gonna put that one back up to 45 too. So let's get the compressor out, and actually we're gonna use a little air pump thingy instead of a compressor. There we go. Okay, here we go. Pretty frozen gravel here. I don't know. I hope this works. I can bust through this little frozen layer and then I can get into some gravel, or I'm gonna have to pick away at it. I don't know, either way it's not gonna be easy. I was wrong. That was pretty easy. What the heck? What in the world? That was like nothing. Let's go Branson. Gotta love it. Branson tractors, number one. I love this tractor. It really looks great. Oh man, that was easy. You know, I mean, look, right in there. Busted right into that pile like it was nothing. Gosh. Thank you, Branson Tractors. You guys make an awesome tractor. Solid. Icy, cold. It don't care. Oh yeah. Starts right up. Now, I'm gonna let you guys have a little peep-see. I'll go this way. Get my timer up. Dog cable feels pretty icy. As per the usual, because we're not done. So there's the little bit of gravel I had piled up the other day. That was Friday. Now it's Tuesday. Here's the situation. That's mud. There was colder weather, and that's when I was down here showing you guys how hard the pile was, and we were going to dig into it and see if it would even get in there, and it did. And then I was going up and down the driveway a bunch, packing the gravel up there into the hole. Well, today it's about 40 degrees. It's like 38, 39 degrees, and all of the ground has softened up, except I don't think it's completely thawed out. I think only the top portion has softened up. And it's just turned into a slimy muck, like where there's gravel, it's kind of like just mush because the gravel is full of water. So I walked up here about this far, so, and I went in up to my mid-ankle in the gravel because it was so soft. So I said, I think that's enough. So I'm not going to drive on this or try to go up and down this anymore today. Or at all today, I should say. It doesn't look that bad because I haven't driven on it, but if I drove the tractor up that, it would just leave 2 deep ruts going right up the middle of it. And then I don't even know how soft it is up there where the hole was. So, to being transparent with you guys, just letting you know, weather's not really helping me with my project right now. It would have been much better if it would have just stayed, in the upper 20s and at night, and then in the low 30s during the day, so it wouldn't really thaw all the way out at all. But it's not. It's warmed up. And, well, guess what? Tomorrow and the next day, we're supposed to get rain out here. So that brings me to what you're going to see next. What I have to deal with now is I've got the hole up in the middle here, kind of where my thumb is, that's filled in. Like, that's all the way filled up to where there's only about a foot or so before you're back to the natural ground again. However, the hole that's the upper hole up by the top of the driveway, that one still has a substantial puddle in it. And so, depending on if I can actually clamber down in there and get the pump set up or not, if it's not too mushy, I think I can get in there, and I'm going to set I have a little electric pump that I run with my generator. It's super, small, and it's not ideal, but it's what I got. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll see you guys up there here in a few minutes with the pump. Turn the pump on, and we should start pumping this nasty water out. Appears to be working. It's only one real way to tell, though. You gotta walk the hose. Oh, it's starting over here. Muddy water. Pump is finished. What we accomplished here. The good news is all of this mucky looking stuff down here, your foot doesn't really sink in very far, which means it's not sloppy swamp slop. So at this point, I'm going to take the tractor, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to roll back this gravel just a little bit and make myself kind of a little bit of a wall right there. And then I'm going to peel this gravel back and roll it nice and smooth up onto here to make kind of like a ramp. And then I'm going to lay the fabric in down there. And it's only going to be a short piece of fabric because that's only probably 12 or 15 feet wide there. So I'll put a little piece of fabric down in there, throw some rocks on it to hold it in place, and then I'll start throwing gravel on top of the fabric. Same as before, just in a smaller area. for our fabric. Here's the hole behind me. Let's take a look. So you can see we got it filled all the way in. All the fabric is covered. That's not as high as it's going to get. I'm going to put more in to kind of taper into here. This is still a little too much of a ramp going down to it, but we'll fill that in a little more, kind of blend it into the driveway going that way. Driveway is basically completely tied in. Here's the tractor sitting here at the top, and there's the snow goes and the sheds and the old cabin back there. So basically we're tied in. So yes. 5,000 of the driveway. Well, not really. It feels like that though. It feels like day 5,000. So it's really foggy and moist out today. Yeah, moist big time. That's the last little bit of gravel I've got left. Once this gravel's gone, I'm going to smooth all these ruts out, and the same thing up at the top. And we're going to call that a driveway for the year, because I got to tell you guys something. The weather is going to change. The weather forecast says that next week, today's Friday, next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to start cooling down, and they're calling for possible snow showers on Wednesday, and then in the 20s as a high for the next 4 or 5 days after that into the distant forecast. So looks like a real winter is here. So. Alright, as you guys can see, we've got it all tied up in here, and we came all the way up. That used to be a big hole right there, and we've come up all the way up, and we've got it about, I don't know, that bank over there is about 2 foot right there. So we're filled her in pretty good. With the cold weather coming in, and this really, really wet weather right before that, having a really not really any other option other than just put all this gravel in here as best I can and just kind of slough it out and flatten it, because I'm sinking in pretty bad still as all this gravel is saturated with water. So clearly drainage situation is needing to be addressed. There's a lot of things that need to be dealt with here, but this is as much as I could do this year. So winter's kind of coming in fast, so this is gonna freeze up, and as long as it's fairly smooth, and I'll walk down there and I'll get those big rocks and throw them up off the side so I don't hit them with the plow. I'll start plowing on this, and it's gonna turn into a nice smooth road for the winter, and it'll get me up and down, in and out of here just fine, so I can work on that behind me over there. That's the ticket for the winter, cutting trees down and developing more on the cabin, moving it, and then starting to build more on it. So we're at the bottom. There's the driveway going up. Park the tractor here, and basically that's what it looks like. I went ahead and smoothed that out the other day. It's all pretty sloppy, so we're leaving it alone, and today I did all this smoothing here all the way across. That's where the gravel pile was earlier today. That's the little hole that I dug. Excavator's still sitting there. I just made it without really needing any more gravel, it looks like. So I think I'm done with yanking the gravel out of the ground for this year. That's going to freeze solid, and I think it's going to make a nice smooth driveway once it freezes. And then you're probably wondering, well, what's going to happen next year? Well, next year it's going to dry out, and once it finally dries out, it's going to turn into a really hard surface, which is what this driveway over here basically is. And it just kind of sucks because we're doing this at the end of the year, and it'd be more ideal to do it, you know, at the middle of the summer, but we're doing it at the end of the summer. So anyways, I kind of smoothed up the driveway going out the road with the box blade, just kind of make it look nicer. I cleaned up a bunch of my tractor marks that I made in the road out there, and just, you know, trying to make it smooth as I can before it freezes solid. You know, this is, once it's frozen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking with us and checking out what we're doing. I want to say a big thank you to all the new subscribers, and please like and share, and you know, keep watching and keep on subscribing and telling people, and we'll keep putting out videos. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope you guys have an awesome day.